Welcome back. I just wanted to talk about toxic people just quickly because you will come into contact with them, and it's important that you recognise them. When I mention a few things here, you might go, oh yeah, I know somebody like that. So just be aware of them. There are two types of people who are toxic. There are those that they're just passing. Maybe they've got something bad going on in their lives, it's just making them see things in a certain way for a certain length of time. You can understand that. And some people are just like that all the time. So, you need to know. You need to know what exactly you're dealing with. One of the first things that people will do, people who are like negative or toxic, is they will give you nasty little comments. I call these caustic comments. They might come across as a joke. It's not funny. And just don't accept it. That might just be their little jokes that will undermine your confidence. Like, oh, who do you think you are? Just little things like that. Oh, you owe. Just things like that, or even nastier. They could even be quite nasty. So just beware. Anybody who's giving you lots of nasty little caustic comments like that, they are toxic people. Think very carefully if you want anything to do with them. You might find that they're actually an important part of your life. I have people who attend my groups, and one woman was telling me how her husband was constantly coming out with these caustic comments, so he isn't on the side. So it's important to know. You have to know what it is that you're dealing with. They don't compliment. They never compliment at all. Maybe they can't see anything nice, but it's a bit strange, isn't it? When you meet people and they look particularly nice or they've done something rather well, it's natural, isn't it, to want to compliment, but they don't. They'll leave you out of the loop. So that something's going on, it might be a bit of gossiping, or it might be, a little get together. They will leave you out. They can be very controlling. So that's just something to be aware of. They might even want to run your life. They might tell you what to do. That happens a lot, where they're just sort of telling you how you could run your life. They can't do it themselves, but they can tell you. They pick up their own importance. They might be a bit of a narcissist. They're the best at everything, and they have a negative mantra. Everything might say, "Who do you think you are? Oh." Or yeah, everything always goes all right for you. Oh, you're so skinny, aren't you? It's all right for people like you. They have things like that. So just be aware of them. Now, a quick way to actually deal with them is to know that people who are like that, negative or toxic, they don't feel respected, and they probably don't feel loved. Now, you can offer them that, you can offer them a bit of respect, but do be aware they may not be able to accept it. If they're in a very bad state, so if you offer them respect, they might think you're sort of like, taking the proverbial. So just be aware of that. But do try, do try to give them what it is that they are obviously needing, and be compassionate to them. If you feel that they are sort of taking a lot of your energy, just imagine that you've got a barrier coming down, and just bring that barrier down, stop them from stealing your energy. You'll know whether they've done that, because when you've left the company, you you ever get that, like, you think, oh crikey, I just feel so tired. So just be aware of that. Don't blame them. They can't help being like that. so never say, oh, you're very negative, because they'll not say, they'll just call themselves a realist. So don't do that. When you're in their company, act like a person that's loved and respected. It may brush off on them, but keep that up. Keep that persona up, even if you don't particularly feel like it yourself. Don't accept any insults. If they're doing that, just say, oh, hold it right there. Try not to argue. You'll not get anywhere if you do. Just, no, I don't actually accept that. No, you keep that to yourself. I don't want to hear that. Anything like that, you don't want that. No, you don't want that. And there's a thing I call it cynical sandwich. So if you want to do something, say for instance, you want to start a business, say, oh, you don't start a business, that's bound to fail, okay? Or they might even tell you, oh, 50% of businesses fail in so many months or whatever. So you can say, oh, thank you for that, thank you, but I've really thought about it. I do know that there is a chance of failure, but I think I will feel worse not trying. And that's it. So you've wrapped it up. So you've thanked them for it. You've validated them, but you've come to your own conclusion whereby you think that'd be worse if you don't do it. Okay, so do that, absolutely. When you're in their company and it just feels like, oh, awful, time will pass. Time will pass. Keep saying that to yourself. This time will pass. This time will pass. It will. But it can sometimes, you know, when you're with people like that, and hard work. It's hard. So, but do tell yourself this time will pass, and it will. And you can look back on it and think, oh, thank God for that, and make sure that you never get the company again, can you? I mean, really try not to. Don't be afraid to compliment them. It can be difficult. They may not accept it, but do that. You know, just give them a bit of credit where credit is due, right? And don't be afraid to challenge them a little bit. You know, not to argue, but to challenge with the same thing. Oh, things always go wrong. You can say, what, always? Because it doesn't. Things don't always do something. There is some change somewhere along the way, and just be sure of yourself. Don't take on board what it is that they're saying. Just be true to yourself. If they are going on an awful lot and driving you insane, talk about yourself, right? Just talk about yourself relentlessly. Don't worry about whether it's interesting or not. I might try and make it boring, you know. Just talk about yourself. If you've had an operation, go into detail of that operation. I promise you that person will leave. They'll say, well, anyway, I'll have to go now. That's always a get out clause. If you want to get somebody away from you, then please talk about yourself. It's marvellous. Nobody wants, if you're going on, drawing up, absolutely they will go. I was brought up in the family business. And my mum, when she had somebody in the shop and she wanted, you know, people going on and on about themselves, she would just start talking about herself, and that person would leave. Sadly, it really does work. Well, I hope that's been a help to you, and I really would like to know how you're getting on with the course, and if there's anything further that you would need. Okay.